Good morning, everybody. Yeah, this is Doug with Rusty Nuts Garage. Well, it looks like I need to set me up a welding fume extractor. So pulled this fan out of an air conditioning unit. It was one I had replaced under the house a couple of years back. But went ahead and pulled the fan, tested the fan. One of the things you do want to check is make sure what the voltage is. In this case, this fan it basically was a 220, so I'll be powering it up with 220. So what I've got to do is I've got to build ductwork here and ductwork here. So I've got my intake and my exhaust, and then I'm going to put it up over my overhead up here and have it exhaust out, and then I'll have a duct tube coming around here, so when I do weld on the weld table, which is really cluttered right now, I'll go ahead and be able to extract that fumes, because I've about had enough of the fumes. So what I had, kind of give you guys an idea, was I had cut the lids off of 55-gallon drums, where I just saved them to the side in case I needed it. It's believe it or not, it's like 19 gauge sheet metal on the top of these drums, so pretty stout stuff. When the fan starts sucking and blowing and what have you, at least it's not going to want to try to buckle on you. So kind of give you an idea, from the edge measurement from here to here, I had like 13 inches, which on the fan was perfect. So I just got through cutting that one. I've got another one I got to cut, and this one here, it's going to have an 8-inch duct. I don't know if you can see it, but I do have a line scribed out in there, and I'll put my duct in there, and then this will go over this on the fan. So that would actually be my extractor side. And then on the blower side, I just went ahead and I pulled another. I got like 3 of these. I had 3 drums for burning barrels, and I just buy them so I can cut off the lids. So I cut off the lid, but anyway, here is the other portion. This would be the outlet with an 8-inch hole. Again, I don't know if you can really see it, but I do have an 8-inch hole here for ducking. That'll be mounted over on this side, so it'll be on the blower side. So this would be the part that I'll be expelling the exhaust outward. Now the only drawback to this is I really need to make this section just a little bit more offset. So I'd put a temporary scribe for center, and then I'm going to do my measurement from here to here, which probably the ring will probably start right around here and go around. So this is just a temporary scribe, but it will be relocated back up here, so it fits right in the center of the exhaust side. And then I'll build a bracket on the 2x6 studs where it actually holds the whole fan unit up there. And then I'll have a swivel stand that'll swivel around with the duct tube on it, so it whenever I'm welding on the table, I can go ahead and extract those fumes and blow them outside, get them out of this garage. Okay, well, I went ahead and I cut out that plate, and I'll clean all this up. Right now I'm just kind of getting everything mocked up. Matter of fact, I had to go pick up some screws at the local hardware store, and just ran across these flanges. They had a flange on here with the 8-inch duct on it. So I said, man, that's exactly what I was looking for. Couldn't find them in the big box store for some reason, I don't know. But yeah, here's the other side. This will be going over here when I get the other plate screwed on and what have you. And then I marked out my hole. You can probably see the purple line in there. And so I'll go ahead and I'll cut that out, and now I'll have my discharge. This will be the discharge side. This will be the inlet side. Okay, so we got both inlet and discharge on this thing set up. So we're looking pretty good, and yeah, I'm liking the way this thing's turning out. Yeah, when I end up getting it completely done and get all that paint off of here and what have you, I'll end up painting this whole blower so it looks pretty decent, you know, from a distance. Or so coming along good. These are the two wires I was telling you about. Orange went to the fuse, and this actually went to a relay. And the relay was basically controlled for low, medium, and high speed. So my intention is this thing's just going to go wide open, you know, when I need it, because I don't see any use in having multiple speeds on this fan. Just run it wide open and let it start sucking all that goodie out. So all right, looks like we got it all painted. Now I'm working on the brackets to mount up there on the wall. I'm gonna put it right above my tool rack, above that 2x4 that's running horizontal, and then it'd be vented out to the outside. Went ahead and I wired in my switch. I tapped off of my, again, this is 220, so I went ahead and just tapped off of my plug from a welding machine, and it's I believe it's 14 gauge wires what I've got, and the reason why is because it's not going to go over 20 amps at all. Matter of fact, the light switch is a 20 amp light switch, not a standard 15. So I did put in a 20 amp light switch for it. So when I ran the blower, I went ahead and I took an amp reading on it just to see what it was going to do. So to kind of give you an idea, being 220, not too shabby. When it fired up on initial startup amperage, it was right at 3 amps, just about 3.1, 3.2 amps. And then once it was running, your standard full load amps on it as it was running was right at 1.1 amp. So that's not too bad as far as amperage being utilized off of this fan blower. And again, this came out of an air conditioning unit that I actually had, and I had replaced it because the unit itself, the A coils were shot, so I had replaced it. So again, I'm putting my brackets together, getting ready to drill them out, and then I'll be mounting them up there on the overhead, and then getting ready to put placement for the blower. So that's the latest. All right, give you guys an update. We got the fan mounted. She's up there and wired. So not too bad, pretty quiet. Turn it on. You should be able to hear it. It's blowing. Now all I gotta do is get all my duct work and get my boom made, and I'll be in good shape. And yeah, what you see here at these boards, there's going to be a right above this 2x4 here, it's going to be a platform going all the way across the top, and then I'll put like some storage stuff up there. It's not going to be anything real heavy, but this will be a whole ceiling. This will be a ceiling up here, so you really won't even hear this fan except for when I'm welding, as it's going through the chute, through the suction side. So yeah, I can feel the air actually exiting out and blowing up against that wall and blowing back. So right now I got the garage kind of heated up, and it's actually circulating the heat, so that's a good thing. So anyway, kind of wanted to give you guys an update. Here's the fan. All right, there's been a little bit of an update on this extractor. So when I had gone to the store, I ended up picking up 8-inch duct, and when I had picked up some ducking from local hardware, it was 7-inch. Didn't realize the difference from one to the other, so I kind of made a little bit of a change, which I think is probably for the best. So if you take a look, the inlet, which is the bottom, is going 8-inch, and the discharge is going 7-inch. So it'll give a little bit of volume there for the sucking power and the discharge, because it really blows big time. So with the larger inlet, I think it's going to work out a whole lot better. So we're bringing it down to that horizontal 2x4, and because that'll be like my floor area once I put the overhead on. So just trying to get things sorted out, what's going to be above me, and putting this vacuum extractor in is really going to help out. So the only other thing I got to do, it's raining today, not going to do it today, but I got to cut out my cutout for my 7-inch discharge, and then of course I don't have any regular duct work to run between one and the other for my elbow that I'm getting ready to install. So I've got to wait till Monday. Today's Saturday. Everything closes at noontime around here, and otherwise it's an hour or better away for me to go pick up something locally, if you want to call it locally. But nevertheless, it's no big deal. Still just a work in progress. We're getting there. By the way, I wanted to kind of give you a heads up. I may not have said anything. The switch I ended up putting in, originally it was a single pole, single throw switch, just like a regular light switch in the house. And so I had bypassed one lead and then went ahead and ran the other lead, but that meant that it would always be hot on one side, and I didn't want that. So when I went to the hardware store, I did pick up a double pole single throw switch, and I'll show that in the box. I got the box somewhere right, which the switch is right here. It's 15 to 20 amp double pole switch. So in other words, I've got 220 running up that one leg tapped into my welding receptacle, and so that's 220 coming up, and then it goes right on up to the top. So this double pole has 2 individual contacts, one for each leg, so that I went ahead and went that route. Wasn't too bad. I think it was like $7 for the switch. You know, normally those are kind of pricey because they're more industrial, but this does show to be, I believe, like an industrial type switch, which is okay. So nevertheless, this is a new switch I installed. Works great. When I come over to the extractor, I just flip that switch and boy, she takes off. Yep. And yeah, I feel a lot of air movement. Too bad y'all can't feel it, but I got a lot of air movement. It's doing its job. Not bad for a free blower that I had. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this thing going so I can start doing some more welding. Alright, I got the suction ductwork down and put a 90-degree elbow on the bottom of it. So my plans is to have a boom where it actually come out. It'd come out this way. My weld table's right here. And I'll have flexible pipe attached to that, and then that way I can swing from one side to the other with the boom, and that way then wherever I weld on this table, I mostly work on this side. Most of my work's over here, but that thing will be able to boom over. But the 90-degree elbow will be fixed. It won't rotate or anything. It'll just be the flexible hose that I'll attach to the end of it. Again, that'll be an 8-inch diameter plastic hose that you can buy for HVAC ducting, and then the boom I'll make out of, say, 1-inch square box tubing, and use some gate hinges and what have you in order to make it all work. So and then again, I'll get the ducting cut out probably after this weather pass. So I'll have that. That way then I'll have this fume extractor operational, but it won't be 100% complete because outside I want to do a few things on the outside to keep the weather from rolling in and what have you on it. And then of course I still got some things I got to secure, like the ductwork. I'll have a piece of post coming over, or a board, or I hadn't quite decided, maybe a piece of angle iron, and then it'd be like a T-post. And basically what that'd do is act like a stabilizer on that that vertical duct, and that way it'll be stable. It won't be able to move or vibrate or anything. But from what I'm seeing, there's really no real vibration. So I'll turn it on, and as you can see, no vibration, but boy, it sure does pull vacuum in there. Yeah, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, this is pretty sweet. So yeah, I recommend anybody who does any home welding, and they're kind of like I'm stuck in a corner over here, so all the fumes just fumigate this whole area. And even if I run a fan and I open up the doors to the garage and what have you, there's still a whole lot of ventilation. Yeah, excuse me for my coughing. I've got a blasted head cold with this weather being flip-flopping and up and down, and oh my gosh, it's been a hassle. So I've been having head colds and sinus problems and everything else. So it's all right. Back on my ducting and up in the overhead. You can see I've already got my circle drawn out and my hose drilled for my jigsaw to go through, and I'll cut that hole out. The 3 bottom holes is actually this kind of give me a setup on this unit here. What I plan on doing is I've got screen over a exhaust exit, and you know, to keep the birds and hopefully the mud daubers and all that out. And then this piece this piece I plan on going ahead. Of course, it'll be pop riveted in. I don't want screws sticking out. I want pop riveted in. And the seal, which is wore out from previous setup, I'll end up taking silicone sealant, go ahead and silicone that. And then this exhaust here, pipe that'll stick outside the window, it actually gonna fit right up in here, and then this will be sticking outside. And then I'll have this duct work, which will be on the inside of the building. And of course it'll just slip right on in there, that pipe. And then the pipe end up going ahead and tagging off of where the fan's at. So got everything measured. All I gotta do is drill out that hole, or saw it out, should I say. And then test fit for the exhaust pipe. And then go ahead and silicone everything up and pop rivet it all together, and yep, then I'll have my complete exhaust system completed. And then I haven't had time, it's, you know, during Christmas, the you know, shipping and everything and what have you. I still got to get my 8-inch hose ducting, that way I can go ahead and run it. So hopefully I'll get it within another week or 2 weeks whenever I get a chance to order it. But yeah, this dude's just close to being finished. Once I get this exhaust up, thank goodness I won't be on a ladder no more. I've about had enough of ladder climbing. I feel like that's all I've ever done lately, has been on a ladder. So just about ready to get this exhaust done, get this table cleaned up, and I'll get that other piping done, flexible hose pipe purchased, and the only thing I got to do is build me a swivel bracket to hold the flexible piping, and that way it'll be able to swivel back and forth depending where I'm actually welding on the table. So all right, well, we got that installed, got it all sealed up, got the exhaust in there. Go ahead and tape the one flange up. May end up taping this other one up too, just so it doesn't allow vapors to escape. But oh yeah, just got through testing it. Looks pretty good. All right, got my homemade, I don't know if you can see that or not, but got my homemade smoker going. I use this to find out any leaks on my EGR system, but anyway, you can actually see it's starting to get kind of smoky in here. So let's try going outside and taking a look. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I do see some white smoke coming out from the simulation. So yeah, so far it's working pretty darn good. I like it. It'll be better when I start welding.